Hello, this is Artie Astor from Today in NEWSIC, and we're not just going to focus on music news today. We're going to focus on something that actually encompasses many aspects of the arts and entertainment. This is Tilly Norwood. She is an actress. There's something different about this actress that not a lot of people know.
She doesn't exist except on screen.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
She's not real. She's AI generated. So you might think, well, okay, we knew this was coming. AI generated people have been around now for quite a while, not super long, but long enough so that it's all over social media and everywhere. So what's the big deal?
But it's Tilly. The production company says it wants to turn into the next Scarlett Johansson or Natalie Portman, someone it would hire out for performances or appearances.
And this is what I find to be extremely weird. Aline van der Velden says this: to those who have expressed anger over the creation of my AI character, Tilly Norwood, she is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art. Like many forms of art before her, she sparks conversation. And that in itself shows the power of creativity. And then she also goes on to say, I see AI not as a replacement for people, but as a new tool, a new paintbrush. Just as animation, puppetry, or CGI opened fresh possibilities without taking away from live acting. AI offers another way to imagine and build stories. I'm an actor myself, and nothing, certainly not an AI character, can take away the craft or joy of human performance. I mean, am I wrong? One statement seems to be at odds with the other statement. So let's go back and listen to this again.
Turn into the next Scarlett Johansson or Natalie Portman, someone it would hire out for performances or appearances.
Let's just unpack that little nugget right there. They're not to replace humans, but they are going to be the next Scarlett Johansson or Natalie Portman, someone that people can hire out for performances. One statement is completely at odds with the other statement, so it leaves us confused as to what the heck you're talking about. Now, a lot of people don't have an issue with CGI, first of all. And I want to go back to what she said. Let me just see if I can find her statement here. Just as animation, puppetry, or CGI opened fresh possibilities. All right. CGI is used for many things. And when a character is CGI, let me see if I can find it here. You get Groot, you get the Hulk, right? That's CGI. So Groot and the Hulk are CGI. Now this brings me to Van Gogh. Why? Well, because the creator mentioned art. And I think it's important for us to take into consideration something interesting, because just like using an AI character to actually replace a person, your words, to be the next Scarlett Johansson, right? Just as using an AI character to take over acting, or just like using high amounts of auto-tune in a song, where do we draw the line? Now, I want you to look at this painting right here by Van Gogh. Okay, this is Starry Night by Van Gogh. Now, what if you were looking at this and you thought, wow, that's amazing. And then I said, do you know, back when Van Gogh was painting this, they had a mechanical arm. They had a mechanism on his arm. If the mechanism thought that he was going to make a wrong move, it would automatically move his arm and brush the stroke for him. Much of this painting right here isn't necessarily Van Gogh, but it was the auto corrections of the robotic arm that gave us this finished product. Now, wouldn't that separate you even just a little bit from the creative mind of Van Gogh? Now let's go back to the issue at hand. If we're watching a movie and Tom Cruise is in it, who else? Nicolas Cage. Think of some actors. I don't know. I can't think. Tom Cruise, Nicolas Cage, Chris Pratt, and Amy Poehler. These four, and I would love to see whatever movie that is, by the way. So let's just say these four are in the movie, and in comes Tilly Norwood, making her debut. Well, she's already made her debut, but now she's making her debut again. And she comes in and she completely blows everybody away. She makes Tom Cruise look like an amateur. She makes Chris Pratt look like the days before Parks and Rec. The audience is like, who is this Tilly Norwood? She's super talented. Then we find out she's not real. Who do we as humans connect to? Who do we relate to? It's empty. There's nothing there. There's nothing for us to look at and share organic life with, to share the human condition, to share our own insecurities and frailties and fears and hopes. There's no one that we can share that with because they don't exist. What's interesting too is that Hollywood has an opinion on this, and I actually agree wholeheartedly with Hollywood here. It says, this is from the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. It says, the union is opposed to the replacement of human performers by synthetics. Of course, they're going to say that because they represent the actors and there's money involved. But let's just take money out of it for a second. Don't you want a product by humans, for humans? Once we take the by humans out of the equation and say for humans, who do we relate to? And maybe you think I'm crazy, like we don't need to relate to anybody. Well, yeah, we do. Of course we do. So here's something to think of, okay? You come home and there's a gift on your front porch, and it is something that you desperately need, and you're like, wow, this is something that I needed right now. But you never, ever, ever find out who left you that gift. That's not going to bother you. That you don't have someone to connect that emotion to, that gratitude that you feel. Of course it does. We need to relate to one another. And I am not of the belief that any type of automation should not be used. I'm not of that belief. I actually understand the use for it. I understand the use for automation in music, even AI in music. I can actually see a use for a guitar player at home, and he wants to just practice something in the key of B flat minor. And instead of writing something or looking for a backing track on YouTube, he can go to AI and say, write me a 3-chord song in B flat minor, and then within seconds, he's got a song that's in B flat minor that he can practice over, right? And then if he likes the chord changes, he can even say, you know what, I like that chord progression, and then maybe even try to, on his own, create something with that chord progression. But when AI takes the creativity out of the hands of humans and then presents it to humans as a creative work, then it leaves a void. We've got nothing to connect to. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I completely coming out of left field? Do I have no idea what I'm talking about? Am I crazy? Tell me in the comment section.